Y ahora sí parece ser que tenemos en la línea grande entre los grandes el reverendo Marilyn Manson. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, thank you very much for my time with this interview.
No problem.
We're totally live here in Mexico City. First of all, what can everybody expect about the shows of tomorrow and next day from tomorrow?
Well, I think that it's going to be, it's the first time I've ever played an intimate venue like this in this city. So for me, it's going to be like it was starting out in the beginning, which is how I became legendary, I suppose, and how I started being in love with performing music live. So I think it's going to be more energy. Probably, unfortunately for the rest of the world, this will be the best shows of the tour, I'm hoping.
Oh, that's awesome. And talking about the Eat Me, Drink Me album, what is the most important thing that you want to express with this album?
I think that I needed to find myself again. I wasn't sure of if I had something else to say before I made this record.
Yeah.
But I realized that I had to dig myself out of this uncertainty, and all these songs that I made on this record were written from a different point of view. In the past, I've often written my opinions, and this one I wrote my feelings, and it was my way to communicate to the people that were around me. So I think it's the record that it might not be most accessible, but I think it's it's something that most people can relate to, because I'm talking about the problems that everyone goes through when it comes to romance and uncertainty and depression and wanting to, have something to believe in. So now I feel like stronger than ever since I made this record.
And talking about the creating process, how hard was the creating process in order to do this album?
Once I actually wrote the first song, it wasn't hard anymore, but getting to the point was difficult, because this record obviously is unlike all my other ones. It just took a long time to realize that I was able to make this record. I didn't understand that this record was possible. And then when I started making it, it was a strong collaboration between me and Tim Skold, and it was also the beginning of me changing everything in my life, and my love life and my personal life, and just me getting back to being me, because I had strayed away from myself. So now I'm back to the terrible person that I always was.
And now you're back with a lot of different things. I know you have a project called Phantasmagoria. Do you know when it's going to be released?
Well, the film was set to begin shooting when this tour started. So I decided that this tour was more important to do first. So the film I'm going to actually begin shooting when the tour is over. So at the end of the year, the beginning of next year.
Cool. And now, what is the most important thing that you admire about a great, great writer that is Lewis Carroll?
I think his infinite imagination, to be able to write a book that would last for so long. And I think one of the interesting reasons about it is when you read Alice in Wonderland, it never says the Mad Hatter's wearing a hat. It never describes Alice in the way that Disney portrayed her with blonde hair and a blue dress. It just lets you come up with these images in your head, and that way when everybody reads it, everybody has a different vision of it. And that's what I hopefully try to do all the time in anything I create, that everyone's going to understand it differently. There's no way to misunderstand it.
And what could it be the most important thing that you want to give to the character of your own to Lewis Carroll?
I think that I found writing the story that I had a lot in common with his search for identity, because it was a man torn between the world of his childhood and the world of growing up, and his ideas about religion versus imagination. So I think that I found actually that I was too close to the character, because the character is about a very Jekyll and Hyde sort of moment in his life, and that's exactly what I started to experience when I was writing it. So I think that I was able to really, really understand what he was going through in the period that this film describes.
Cool. And now, also you're doing art. I know that you're gonna do an exposition in Brazil.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit of what kind of things do you learn with painting that you didn't learn with the music?
Well, all my paintings, if people want to see them, and not in Brazil, are on my website under the art section. But I've always painted when I can't put an idea into singing, into writing lyrics. So it's more of a very intimate, quiet moment for me. It's just me and alone in a room, a lot of times in silence. And when I look back, I see that a lot of my paintings are portraits of people that I meet or people that interest me. And I learned from that how to address different feelings in songwriting. So I started writing songs that I wanted to say something like I try and say in painting.
Cool. And now, is that true that you're planning to release a book called Hollywood?
Well, I wrote a book a long time ago, and I'm just not so sure that I liked the censorship that came along with putting it out. There was too many people wanted to tone things down because of the content. I just didn't feel like it was going to do it justice. And I did this at the same time when I wrote the album Hollywood, and I thought that the record stood on its own, so I decided not to put out the book. But I've just been thinking recently in the past few months about taking all of the writing that I've been doing recently and doing a second part to my biography that I did before.
And I think that the fans will appreciate it a lot.
Yes.
And is that true that you also trying to produce a type of absinthe called Manson?
Did. Yes, it's true. It's called Manson's. There's a website for it, mansons.com. It's distributed out of Germany, but it's the only thing that I drink, so I figured I might as well start making it myself.
Are we going to be able to buy something in Mexico?
I think if you go online on the internet, you can find it, but I'm not sure what the laws are here. They're just getting ready to pass law in America that it will be legal, but right now it's only legal in Europe.
Oh, well, let's see what we can do now. And talking also, right now we're going to see the video, the heart-shaped glasses. That is a controversial video. What is the thing that you want to express visually with this video?
Real dirty sex. No, I think it's meant to be like a very reckless obsession. Bonnie and Clyde, Lolita, a lot of these things, obviously. The song was inspired by the glasses themselves because my girlfriend, Evan Rachel Wood, wore those all the time. And when I first met her, we both knew that there was, obviously, people would make a joke because she's younger than me in reference to the book Lolita. So I wrote the song to her one day. What I say in the song is what I said to her. And we thought that we wanted to make a video that was romantic. We weren't really trying to be shocking. We wanted to make something that was really represented the complete, undying romance that we were feeling at the time.
But is that true, the thing that you can read on the net, that you were actually having sex during the film?
Well, I've decided not to confirm or deny that, but I think that I think that it's either that or she's the greatest actor there is, which I would say both are true.
Now, there is another rumor in this album that is from the song "Mutilation is the Most Sincere Kind of Flattery."
Yeah.
About that you try to give the words to Get Away from My Chemical Romance. Is that true? Like dedicated?
No, that's not. It's not exactly true. I think the song, if anything, came from people saying to me, "What do you think about these bands?" And I wasn't really responding to the band. It was also in a time when the actual idea of I had just decided to get a tattoo on my wrist. And just the idea that obviously making fun of the original imitation is a sincere form of flattery. In some ways it addresses bands like that, but in other ways it's more just about my opinion on who I am right now. It's not really obsessing over them, and that's kind of what the song says in a way too.
Okay, well, thank you very much for making the of this interview. It's an honor to talk with you.
All right.
Good luck here in Mexico. I know it's gonna be great, and you know it too. But it's gonna be great. You're gonna see.
Yes, it will be great.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
All right, thanks.
Bye. Y bueno, hermanos, pues ahí lo checamos en la línea. Marilyn Manson, gran personaje, y precisamente nos vamos a despedir con su video. Esto se llama Heart Shaped Glasses.